The 2024 Progressive GNCC Racing Series headed into summer break in style at the Yamaha Racing GNCC, where we saw the number one of Bryson Neal once again stand on top of the podium. After a few months off, can anybody dethrone the number one and try to steal away this XC1 championship? It's just about time to find out right here on Racer TV.
Are you ready to go? GNCC Racing!
Hello everyone and welcome back to the 2024 Progressive Grand National Cross Country Racing Series. We are here at round 10, the Canati Tires Buckwheat 100 in Newburgh, West Virginia, to pick up the tail end of the 2024 season. My name is Zach Herron, excited to be covering the racing action for you. But before we get to this weekend, let's throw things back to just a few short months ago with our specialized race recap to the Yamaha Racing Snowshoe GNCC. It's a fan favorite, it's a racer's favorite, and it did not disappoint. There you see that infamous start straight not long before they head down into the Howard's Hole. We freed Howard's Hole, the AM quads got to go through it. A little bit drier than what we have seen in many snowshoes of past, but one thing we are used to seeing is the number one of Bryson Neal up towards the front. But how about Double H? Hunter Hart, bit of a rebound for him. Definitely did not have the start to the season he was hoping for, but man, the guy always has a smile on his face. He keeps his head up. He does not shy away from obstacles or challenges. And this is the Hunter Hart that we had been hoping to see all season long. Up front early, applying the pressure to the number one of Bryson Neal. But you've got to think Neal's confidence is at an all-time high after an incredible performance so far this year. And it wasn't long before we saw Bryson Neal start to do what he's done all season long. Once he gets out front, he just is able to find an extra gear and put some space between himself and the rest of the XC1 pack. Sure enough, all by his lonesome, there he is, fighting through the dust at Snowshoe. That's a new one. There is the checkered flag, though. Nothing new about that. Bryson Neal grabs the XC1 win. Hunter Hart would hang on for a podium, as well as Wyatt Wilkins, Stephen Harrell, and Jared McClure rounding out your top five. Now we move over to that Rocky Mountain ATV points breakdown where Bryson Neal starts to stretch things out over Walker Fowler.
The only thing I was banking on was the dust, because once we got into the rocks, if you was on somebody or somebody was on you, they could kind of just watch what you was doing and just kind of just correct, go a little bit to the left, square up this rock, hit this a little bit better. So I was just trying to get out of sight from him. Luckily, we caught 2 or 3 lappers right here as soon as we hit, and I didn't yell at him. I didn't rev my bike. I just kind of snuck up on him and just blitzed by him in the dust. And I think I really surprised him. And then I'm just hoping that was what really helped me get the gap. And then once I got the gap going out of Howard's Hole and up the ski slope, man, I just tried to be smooth, keep hitting it hard. My guys did a great job getting me through Howard's Hole all day, and my friend Justin Fallon, Troy Edelblue, Tyler Ward, Mikael Robinson, Nathan from Jackson, cousin from up the creek, and I'd like to thank Wayne, David Eller, everyone out there in the woods today giving me pit boards, laps, and helps, all the fans. It was awesome. I appreciate you guys.
Well, it wouldn't be GNCC Racing without Mother Nature throwing her name in the ring, and sure enough, on a weather delay to start the afternoon race for round number 10. Now, we are still going to have the full 2 hours. The sky has now cleared. The riders are lined up, and this includes Walker Fowler, who had surgery during the summer break, was not planning on competing today. He has actually borrowed gear, borrowed safety equipment, and at the last second, Mark Notman was able to get his quad put together. A little encouragement from Johnny Gallagher, and he is on the line, on the track, doing battle for that XC1 Pro title. But the number one of Bryson Neal getting the whole shot when it matters most. Tough conditions, going to be a lot of slop right on the top of this course, and it's the number one leading them into the woods. There you see that Phoenix Racing Yamaha of Bryson Neal. Looks like closely followed by the number 12 of Boric, and then I think that was Wilkin, Harrell. Couldn't quite see the top 5. Was trying to see if I could catch a glimpse of Walker Fowler. I think I must have missed him, but very curious to see what he's able to do today. Like we said, not only the injury, and I'm sure there's a lot that's got to be coming back. I believe it was a hernia surgery. Curious whether we've got doctor's permission to be out there or not, but just what the overall stamina looks like for Fowler as well. Now we drop back to the XC2 class. Look at the timing from the 171 of Grayson Eller. The Phoenix Yamaha boys right now looking very strong as they sit atop the XC1 and the XC2 classes. Very unique off-camber start. Really big fan of this, and it's made for some close racing, outside one way, inside the other. But Grayson Eller in full command of that XC2 start. There is his teammate, the number 1 of Bryson Neal, leading the XC1 Pro class, I should say, as they weave through the woods. Looks like that is Wilkin. I think that is Boric. And then was that McClure? There is Fowler. Okay, so Fowler looks like inside the top 5, and then I might have been Merritt, and then I believe that was John Galata Jr. just after that, also aboard that Phoenix Racing Yamaha team. So back to Neal right now. We're already starting to see just a little bit of breathing room. I mean, you give the guy half an inch and he takes a mile and a half with it. There is Wilkin. Very curious to see what Wyatt Wilkin's able to do today. Like we said, he's been getting mighty comfortable on the podium, but the gap and the step between I'm a podium guy and I'm an XC1 Pro winner, especially when you've got the likes of Walker Fowler, you've got the likes of Bryson Neal out there, it's going to take a lot. So we'll see. He's done exactly what he needs to do by putting himself in a good position, but a good start doesn't always mean a good finish. So Wyatt Wilkin still got a lot of work ahead, but we know he is more than up for the challenge. As right now, the number 1, Bryson Neal, not making it easy on anyone trying to pick up right where he left off here at the Canati Tires Buckwheat 100. How are things going to shake up? We'll find out as we get back to racing right after this.
Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized E-Turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round number 10 of the 2024 season, the Canati Tires Buckwheat 100. And looking 100% on top of things right now is the number 1 of Bryson Neal. There you see him checking in and checking out. Wyatt Wilkin, though, not out of this thing in the second place spot. Looks like that's still Boric having a very solid ride, rounding out the podium at the moment. And then Stephen Harrell doing a great job so far here in his XC1 debut. There goes Walker Fowler, though, still inside the top 5. This could have huge championship implications. Think about it, folks. He was not even going to compete today, essentially going to forfeit the championship to Bryson Neal. Anything can happen in GNCC racing. I'm just putting that out there. Looks like we had Merritt, possibly Glada, and then I believe that was the Sneaky Snake back there, as well as Austin Abney. So not a ton of distance between these guys. We've seen some pretty huge gaps open up at several of our earlier races this season, but things are maintaining a pretty close gap right now. Wyatt Wilkin still has Bryson Neal in his sights. Look at that, some alternate lines back inside the top 5. Was that a pass from Walker Fowler? And then right back into slot car racing. There is, I believe, Fowler right there. So some juking and jiving between, I believe that was Boric, Harrell, and Wilkins. Still clear of that for right now. Wiping off the camera, making sure we didn't get roosted by Bryson. There goes Wilkin, really giving you an idea as far as how steep those hills are. The cameras don't do it justice, and that looks pretty steep even on the camera. So these guys carrying a lot of speed, and like we said, the intense rain that we had causing that weather delay, that's different than allowing the moisture to set in. As you can see how sloppy and slimy it is on top, but for some reason Neal seems very comfortable, as does Wyatt Wilkin. There you see in the second place position. Chris Boric, though, man, got to give some credit in the third place spot, still this deep into the race. And then Hunter Hart is actually that fourth place rider. Mistakenly thought that was Josh Merritt. And then we see Walker Fowler still holding strong in that fifth place position. But Bryson Neal right now starting to open things up just like we know he likes to. But Wilkins still right there in the second place spot, catching glimpses of Bryson in some of these open spots. And And I believe that was Merritt, maybe Hart in the third place position. There's Borich, yeah, possibly Hart. And then here is Walker Fowler, still looking strong. I mean, you'd have no idea that this guy just had surgery I believe a couple of weeks ago, and is out here competing, borrowed equipment, borrowed gear. This guy, though, he's full comfortable. You can tell he's feeling good on the machine. He's got his program figured out. Seems like things are really going well for Neil right now. Wilkin, I do think, has actually picked the pace back up. It looks like he closed that gap up just a little bit. That is Borich still. And then I believe, no, maybe that wasn't Borich. Did Hart possibly get around? Maybe. There is Fowler. Got the goggle strap just a little bit sideways. Like we said, I don't believe that is his chest protector. I know he is wearing Josh Merritt's borrowed jersey. Stephen Harrell, another solid, kind of a quiet, solid performance for him. Some hydration picked up for the number one, continuing to do exactly what he was hoping to do. I mean, get the start and try to lead this thing wire to wire as of right now. And meanwhile, it looks like, not sure if we missed Wilkin. We must have missed Wilkin unless he had some problem. No, that is Wilkin. So we had a change up. Wyatt Wilkin lost a position. Must have been a mistake. He had a little bit of gap built back up. Here's the backside of the top five. Borich now has shuffled back just a few spots, but still a top five finish. Really solid for the number 12. Bryson Neal, back to your leader. Clear goggles, taking in a little bit of hydration. Not under any immediate pressure, but still not anything close to what we'd consider a comfortable gap. Here is Wyatt Wilkin. Look at the alternate lines. There's a couple of spots, and it looks like Wilkin has actually lost that second place spot. So Wyatt Wilkin back just a little bit, and I believe that almost looked like Walker Fowler that had made that pass for second place. There is Bryson Neal dodging some tree limbs or blowing through some tree limbs. And there it is. Yes. Oh, my goodness, folks. It is the 723 of Walker Fowler who has made the pass. Wyatt Wilkin is still right there. It's more than capable of making a pass if either one of those top two riders make a mistake. But, man, I don't know. For Fowler, this has got to be one of those big overcoming things where the adrenaline's just dumping. He's probably not feeling a ton of pain, but you got to wonder where the intensity is at. Now, look at this. Neal gets a big kick coming out of that deeper rut. They've already started to chew down just kind of below the surface level. And in this particular area has got a fair amount of roots as well, as you can see. But Neal probably not sure if he's aware that the pass has been made for second yet or not, but he knows if there's one guy you don't want behind you, it is Walker Fowler. He means business, and he is charging hard right now. He tastes blood in the water. And now look at this. We have another change. So what has happened inside the top three? Wyatt Wilkin has now found himself in the number one position. This could be an absolute first. An XC1 Pro win on the line. Oh, no. Wait a second. What has happened to Bryson Neal? Bryson Neal now not in the picture. Walker Fowler checks in the second place spot. Folks, this could be huge. Wait a second. Walker Fowler was, I believe, just about 49 points back coming into this race. Was not even planning on lining up. Wow. This is a huge shakeup as there is the number one off to the side of the track. How is this going to change not only the race, but the entire series? Oh, this is going to be crazy. We'll have more when we come back right here on Racer TV.
Progressive GNCC Racing is brought to you by Progressive. Progressive could save you hundreds of dollars on your automobile and motorcycle insurance. Specialized e-turbo bicycles. It's you, only faster. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Round 10, the Canati Tires Buckwheat 100, as we have the potential for history in the making. Wyatt Wilkin trying to grab his first XC1 Pro win, but he's got the 7-time champ chomping at the bit behind him. Walker Fowler trying to chase him down. If you're just joining us, it looked like it was going to be another Bryson Neal runaway, all by himself up front as he had been all race long. And now it looks like the number one going to be out of this race, completely turning not only this afternoon, but the entire championship battle on its head. Walker Fowler not planning on lining up today. Now, man, he is going to have some hugs to give out to Johnny Gallagher and everybody else that helped convince him to line up, because he will be back in this championship fight. Not only is he out there participating, he's in a podium spot right now, and he is applying the pressure to that gentleman right there, Wyatt Wilkin, for the win. Walker Fowler not settling for the second place spot. You got to think the rest of this race is going to be the longest of Wyatt Wilkin's life. Hanging on for dear life. Still looks mighty strong, though. He's charging hard, got good posture, doesn't look like he's crazy fatigued. Actually has opened things up just a little bit on Fowler now. So Wilkin, this could be huge. We talked about the step between a podium guy and an actual XC1 Pro winner. Let's see if he can bring it home. Hugs it tight around the hay bale. Wyatt Wilkin trying to put it together. Smoke billowing out of that ATV. Gonna go through the pits one more time. The entire crew cheering him on. And it all comes down to this. One corner left to go, and stamp it, folks. Wyatt Wilkin, an XC1 Pro winner in 2024. His name will forever be in the history books as an XC1 Pro winner. Look at that. Everybody rushing to hug him. I'm sure Walker Fowler going to be giving him a big hug as well. There's his trainer, Levi Cohen. And those guys have been working so hard to get the consistency and the intensity up. And, man, it has paid off. Let's hear from your first-time winner, Wyatt Wilkin.
Oh, man. That last lap, everybody I saw, I knew I had Walker back there. I was like, man, let's play this smart, see what happens. Then I kind of reeled, I started picking it up, and I pulled from him, and I was like, okay, I can win this thing. And everybody was cheering for me, I was smiling, because it was just like, there's no way in hell that I could pull this thing off. And somehow we did it, just rode smart. B. Neal was taking a lot of water in. I kind of stayed back and then made a bobble, and he got away. Hunter got around me. Walker almost got around me, and followed him for a while. I don't know what happened to B. Neal. We re-caught up to him, and then something went with his bike. Then I saw Hunter started smoking. I was like, you know what, dude, this thing, if I can keep this thing moving, I can win this sucker. And Hunter's went down. We came in. Matt Pierce sprayed my radiator out, keep this thing cool. And I let this sucker eat on that last lap. I was running from Walker like no other.
Well, he ran away, and it was good enough to get the job done. An incredible story, as was Walker Fowler lining up to compete. Let's hear from him.
A lot of weird things were starting to happen there before the race, and I was like, I might as well see if I can find gear. And I got signed up. I bought a transponder. Mine was expired anyway, and Mark is like, I don't like this. And I asked my girlfriend, I was like, so do I race? And she's like, well, if you're not going to do anything dumb, sure. And I was like, what the heck? I tried calling my boss at Yamaha, Donnie Luce, I am sorry, I went against your word. You said not to race, but here we are. So we're back in the championship fight. It's still going to be a stretch, but anything can happen in 3 races, and I guess this is why you race. So it was stupid, but I'm glad I did it. I know where I'm at now. I'm way out of shape. I'm exhausted, and it goes to show you should always throw riding gear in the trailer just in case.
Great attitude there from Walker Fowler, and as we see our Rocky Mountain ATV MC results, one guy that had a spare set of gear in the trailer was Josh Merritt, who rounds out your XC1 Pro podium.
Man, terrible start. I don't know what I did, if I hit the throttle too early or what, but dead last off the start, made for a long day. Worked through the pack, would make a mistake, a couple guys would get by me, and just did that pretty much all day until last lap almost, until I was by myself and kind of just could put a solid lap in and little disappointed in the day, the finish. I like third place on the podium. It's all good right there. You know, it's what we go for is the podium. So see Wyatt get his first win ever. That's 2 new winners in 1 year. So that's pretty awesome. Congratulations, buddy. Knew it was coming. Walker, he's wearing half my gear. He said he wasn't racing this whole week, and I rode with him maybe once or twice, and I was like, he's racing. I know it. Just don't even tell me that lie, Mark and Walker. And once that rain came down, he asked for gear. I was like, here you go, man. You know, if you do good things will happen to you. Hopefully it will pay back by the end of the year. So congratulations, everybody. Third place on the day. I'm pumped.
Another successful day for Merritt on the podium as we see our results, or our points breakdown, I should say. Look at how much things have changed just over the course of an afternoon. Bryson Neal now essentially cutting his points lead in half, or Walker Fowler, I should say, cutting that points lead in half. We take a look at that specialized race recap once again, and man, this is just, it's a bummer for Bryson Neal. Bryson doing exactly what he needed to do. He got the whole shot. He was riding phenomenally, hadn't really been under any crazy pressure. Wyatt Wilkin was doing a great job of keeping him in sight, and we had seen Walker make a pass shortly before we lost touch with Bryson. But man, it just seemed like it was going to be another one of those days where Bryson gets out front early and brings it all the way to the house. But this is GNCC racing. I think I actually said it at the top of the show. You never know what can happen. Wyatt Wilkin doing a great job of putting himself in the right position early and being able to maintain that intensity for the entire duration of the race. When a mistake was made or some misfortune went to the number 1, he was there to capitalize. There you see Bryson Neal, still class act, keeping his composure. Looks like maybe talking with one of the team members there, and that's part of being a champion and a face of the sport. You got to take the lows with the highs, and Bryson does a great job of carrying himself with pride with that. But these guys duked it out. Wyatt Wilkin and Walker Fowler, kind of a new school versus old school, if you will. The established multi-time champion versus the kid trying to grab his first XC1 Pro win. And man, he was styling, profiling, had the ATV smoking as he crossed the line. But sure enough, Wyatt Wilkin gets the job done and puts his name in the history books as an XC1 Pro winner. A huge congratulations to our entire top 3. The podium celebrations are wild, champagne showers raining down. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to us here on Racer TV so you can stay up to date on all things progressive GNCC racing. Until next time, we'll see you guys at the races.